Hey there, Scout family. Scoutmaster AJ here. It has been forever since I've sat in front of this camera and recorded a video to give you guys an update as far as where we're at. I know I can type 110 words a minute. I could send you a 10-page email letting you know where everything is at and what our plans are and all that. But man, does that get dry. And my wife reminds me on a regular basis to try to keep it short. So with this video, it's just a real quick update. Of where we're at, some important dates, and then one last update that I wanted to bring you guys up to speed on. First and foremost, our leaders are meeting tomorrow night, the 1st of September, to finalize our plans going into Parents' Night and what den meetings look like moving forward. The overwhelming feedback that we got is no one is comfortable with meeting as a pack, which is the whole everybody, K through 5 all together and all the families. And I agree. That's just too risky right now with the condition of the pandemic. So, just as a kind of an overview of what to look forward to, den meetings are what we'll be looking at this point. Dens spread out by grade level as far apart as possible. So just imagine the 6th grade levels in 6 different quadrants or sectors of the field outside. Now, scouting is an outdoor program. We're going to try to do our best to stay outdoors as much as possible until the weather forces our hand, and then we'll adapt at that point. Our COVID plan will be rolled out at Parents' Night. You can see a version of it at pack255.com, which is this link right down here. You can just type that into your web browser, click on COVID-19, and it'll give you an overview of what our intentions are in order to keep not only the youth safe, but the families and the extended families of the youth. Because we know that it's not necessarily the youth that are most at risk. It's the families, multi-generational families, when they go home. Is really where we want to make sure that things are safe as possible. So that leader meeting is tomorrow night. If you want to participate in that, if you didn't get the link, shoot me a message and I can send you the link in order to get into that meeting. Next Tuesday, the 8th of September, is the first day of school here in Middleton School District. So generally, we are there Monday night for back to school night. That's obviously not happening this year. Tuesday morning, go to school. And then following right in line with that, the following Tuesday, the 15th, is when we will have Parents' Night. Parents' Night is, in the past, has been, we all sit down, we give you an overview of the program, the kids go outside and do a field day and what have you, and we send you home with some packets to fill out paperwork. It's going to be a little bit different this year. So first of all, number one, please bring a chair. We will be outside, and unless you want to sit on the grass, we strongly recommend you please bring a camp chair with you. We will try to be out in the shade over kind of towards where the gazebo's at on the north end of the parking lot, over towards the ball field. Because we are outdoors, we will be cutting it shorter than normal. So that meeting will start at 6:30. I anticipate us to be out of there by 7:15, 7:30, except for like Q&A stuff, one-on-one stuff. But the majority of the information we're going to try to roll out fairly quickly. Because we really just want to give you guys an overview of where we're at and what our plans are in order to keep the kids safe, keep the family safe. Number two, this one's kind of a big ask, but we ask that you keep your kids home for Parents' Night. I know that's really unusual. Normally, it's, hey, let's have, the kids see what scouting looks like. We do a field day. We'll do some stomp rockets. We'll go do, a circuit out through the field. Have the kids from the older troops come out and do that. This year, out of abundance of caution, because we don't. The troops are also in COVID operations right now, so they're trying to minimize group sizes. We just ask that you keep the kids at home for this meeting. And if that means only one parent comes and the other parent stays home, or if you can find a babysitter or what have you, whatever we need to do. We're just trying to keep our groups as small throughout the entire life cycle of the pack this year. So that's where we're at with that. Number three is dues. We are still in the process of working through what dues look like. Some of the feedback that we got during our engagement survey was it's hard to commit money to a program that may become virtualized again. and that is completely understandable. It's really hard, especially right now with the economy being kind of uncertain, to commit to things. I can tell you right now that there was a substantial increase in registration fees at the national level that we're trying to work through right now. Um, but I can assure you that we are going out of our way to try to minimize dues to as little as possible, and subsidize the best that we can with some of our rainy day funds that we have in place. Now, one of the positive things that came out of working through COVID through the spring was that we were really able to ratchet down some of the larger expenses that we would have normally undertaken at that point of the year, especially buying fundraising items like jerky and chocolate. Those items we actually missed by about a week and a half, 2 weeks. Same with camping. We usually do pretty large purchases on campgrounds, and that was again about a week or two out before the shutdown. We dodged all of that, so those funds are still sitting in the bank account. So we're still working through that, but Parents Night will be able to roll out that more in detail and give you guys a heads up where we're at, and financial aid and what have you, where that sits. And then the first DEN meeting of the year will be Tuesday, September 22nd. So that's the week after Parents Night. And we'll roll out to you at Parents Night what that looks like, as far as what age groups when. Um, Initially, it looks like everyone the same night, same time slot that we've been doing, but really breaking out from your car directly to where your den is meeting and directly back to your car. Not really finding any place where you guys are rallying all in the same spot. And just again trying to minimize the exposure, um, for what that's worth. So that's where we're at as far as important dates. We have been working um, more or less all summer long trying to find a way to make this both practical, but most importantly, safe for our youth to get back together, albeit in smaller groups, so they can get scouting going, so that they can work on leadership, they can work on advancement, and they can work on those social ties that for a lot of folks, a lot of kids, depending upon what neighborhood they were in or what the relationship was with their parents' schedule, they may not have been able to get a lot of interaction with other youth throughout the summer and even the spring for that matter. So that's where we're at. But we're really just kind of playing it by ear right now. Our COVID plan falls in line with color coding statuses that Milton Schools is in. So Milton Schools are anticipating opening in yellow. That's our yellow. Basically follows us in line with den size meetings only, no pack meetings, no large events like that, where we can't have 100% social distancing. So the Oregon Trail has been a fantastic partner to work with. They have gone out of their way to try to make sure that the facilities are good to go, and that they're all set. They have been meeting in their sanctuary for in-person and online services on Sunday. They've just spread everything out as far as they can, and really reduced the number of chairs inside the sanctuary. Now, if you walked into the sanctuary where we normally have opening and closing flags, if you walked in there at like 6:30 during a normal den meeting week, we were pretty good at social distancing. We'd only have maybe 4 or 5 parents in there, and they'd be spread apart by about 30 chairs each. So we'll see what that looks like, but we have some time before the weather really turns south on us. But one of the other things that we really need to have a good grasp on is what our numbers look like, what our head count is, how many youth are actually coming back to the program, and how many youth are joining the program. Because we've had interest throughout the summer, and even through the spring, as far as families that are interested in getting into scouting, interested in finding something other than screen time, which I think I get. My kid spends far too much time on the Xbox, or in front of his Chromebook, and especially with online schooling being a portion of his day-to-day life starting next week. We're looking for different ways to try to get him outdoors, to get him away from the screens, and to grow and to be active. So that's where that's at. If you have any questions, you can send me a text message. My number is 208-957 4363, or you can send me a message here on Facebook, or you can send me an email. You can reply to this email. I'll send out this link as well on Troop Track for those of you that are email only. The last note, because I said 5 minutes and we're at 10 minutes and 20 seconds right now, is Mr. Follick. Greg's grandfather passed away Friday evening. I'm surrounded by family after a really long battle with Agent Orange exposure as in Vietnam. So Mr. Follick was a huge supporter of the pack. He was always behind the scenes, pretty quiet. By the time that Greg was in the pack, his eyesight was really problematic for him. So he would usually just kind of hang out, just the older gentleman with the white beard and the cane at like Blue and Gold or uh, Pinewood Derby. Sorry, but he really helped us get our camping program off the ground. He donated quite a bit of money throughout the years for our camping program, for campground dues. He donated substantial money for financial aid to help out scouts that needed the program in their lives but didn't necessarily have the means to pay for it, along with the logistics, communications, supplies, support. He was just so proud of what the kids were able to do through scouting, and his body wasn't quite there to where he could participate to help us out as a leader, but he wanted to be able to be there to support us. So we're definitely going to miss him. From Camp Grantham, this is Cubmaster AJ signing off.